how AI can help us to enhance creativity and problem solving in a design course or a D school. So I look at this AI revolution, what is taking place, two bucket theory. What do I mean? One bucket is skill development. Another bucket, I call it as thinking development. Fundamentally, if you look at D schools, are initially started and they were helping predominantly skill development, bucket one. The bucket two is a design thinking or a thinking per se, a creative thinking, innovation thinking. That used to happen much more naturally, partially. Recent people will go to any design colleges, they are talking about research, consumer research, user experience, user research, and they're following system thinking. Design thinking is very much part of every syllabus. Okay. So there is a good amount of emphasis shifted from just teaching skill development to teaching the thinking development, the creative thinking and innovative thinking development. Now, we can look at how AI is going to help in both areas. If you ask me, it's very commonsensical. I believe that the skill development get further accelerated, or you can learn skills much faster with the help of AI. You don't need to spend a lot of time on skill development subjects. Rather, you will be spending more time on creative thinking and innovative thinking, because those are still left with humans. Of course, there are a few AIs are there currently, and there will be many more going to come in the future who are going to enable your thinking as well, but thinking remain with the designers. So more and more colleges start getting engaged with their students, and their syllabus needs to be heavy towards thinking development. Okay, so that's one scenario which I see. Literally, if I look at the history and what is happening, what AI is doing to the design field, in one level, it's not a new. Okay, so we know that before camera was invented, there was a huge demand for a realistic painting, whether a portrait or a landscape. After camera, you don't need realistic painting. Okay, because if you see, the economy shifted. What do I mean? Before a camera, you could have earned money by being a realistic artist, because that time you're using that skill to document, like you're making famous people portrait and you're paid for that. You're making landscapes people used to want to have because the photograph wasn't there. That's the best way of carrying out visual documentation. Again, those were sellable skills. You can sell those skills. After invention of camera, that whole economy shifted to the cameramen. The person who has got a good camera, who can take a good photographs, now he's charging money. Get the point? Economy shifted. So similar things will happen in one level with AI tools. One level. AI is a really kind of this is not one more technology. That is where when I read a lot of these articles, and there are good amount of noise in these articles and whatever discussions. So I filter in a two-way. One is that I look at AI as just as a mere new tool. Another way, another level, I think AI it's a paradigm shift moment. So for example, what you thought knowledge is no more a knowledge, because AI can better, or AI is much more knowledgeable than you, and what you think that it is cerebral game, chess, AI can play a better than you. That means how we define knowledge needs to be redefined, because you can't say, hey, that person is knowledgeable. AI is knowledgeable than every people put together, and An individual cannot read 1,000,000 books. AI can read 10 billion books within half an hour. So it would be very different equation. So the two level, one is like as a innovation, it's improved innovation sort of a thing. Another is it's basically paradigm shift. It is asking fundamental question: what is knowledge? How do you convert your knowledge into money? Okay. So when you're converting your knowledge into money, who needs to pay? Should it pay to the AI company? Should it pay to the AI developer? Should it pay to the prompt engineer? Who's supposed to be paid? Or it's supposed to be paid where it just borrowed or stolen pixels from other creators. So those are complex subjects. We're not getting into it. So AI could help you definitely in a skill development. AI becomes my illustrator. AI can become a photo editor, a video editor, and AI become my design studio. I say that like in the future, I won't tell people that I have a design studio. I have AI design studio. And in the area of design thinking, how colleges needs to engage with AI, or you start introducing AI in your college, that how we can use AI to do mind mapping, okay, connecting dots and creating new meanings. Whether you're making mood boards or you're creating a thought stimulations. I think in the fashion industry they teach, I think they even in product design also, they do a lot of mood board. So those things will become prominent. So mood boarding become like it's a day-to-day exercise, like the way we used to do sketches, like life sketch, the human sketching. So like that, you would be continuously doing mood board creations. Of course, there also AIs can definitely help you. Now, Instagram, just type a mood board on Instagram, it will give millions of images. But in your case, you're using your contextual, whatever the brief or what purpose you are doing mood board, and keeping that. With the help of AI, you're generating mood. So your ability to conceive things is improving. At the same time, there's a helping hand which is helping you to achieve things much faster. This is somewhere, I think, going to bring this paradigm shift. Okay. Currently, like we have a designers and then we have a non-designers. Okay. This distinction between designers and non-designers will get erased due to Mid-Journey. All these AIs, like image generator AIs, are going to definitely erase that. So that is going to bring a very different kind of market, especially because how do you monetize that? How do you go about it? So these are various social, fundamental, economic issues are there. That's one aspect which we need to kind of concentrate on. So the second thing we are looking at, personalized learning. This I'm really happy about talking about this because I'm a victim of this mass teaching. Okay, because our education system predominantly developed in the industrialized. It started happening from industrialization era. So still, like we are following many of those industrialization techniques and tools. So the current education, if you look at it, is teaching centered, not learning centered. I'll come to the point. What do I mean? Okay. Today's education is more school centric, not a student centric. A student needs to go to the school. Why can't school come to the student? That's happened during the COVID because now students can learn lessons sitting at home. How good, bad, we're not discussing about that, but it started happening. Okay. What do I mean that the current system, what we have, this kind of have this industrialization era hangover, that is like mass standardization, mass marketing, mass manufacturing, mass education equal to standard syllabus. This mass education, which is bringing the standardized syllabus, I think that needs to be changed, or that's going to be changed, and with the help of AI we can kind of bring the change. This mass syllabus is very good it's convenient for schools, it's convenient for teaching staff, it is convenient for the education industry, but it is not good for students. Okay, so that means we are shifting from that mass syllabus to individualized syllabus. That's where the personalized learning AI is going to help. So now the question comes, what is this individualization learning? Should I go to every individual? That will eventually happen with the help of AI. In a Vedic Gurukul system, we follow this. There are three dominant personalities. One personality, we call it action-driven personality. Another is knowledge-driven personality. The third one is feeling or emotion-driven personality. What we used to do, there is something called Akshara Vidya. It's basically reading and writing teaching. That particular knowledge is given to all the students. How to read, how to write, mathematics, the basic, what we teach in school, the basic is taught to every student. Then there is a customization, like the students who have got this action-driven personality, those people are taught all the martial art. Okay, these guys are going to take care of the kingdom. They have to learn fighting skills. And these guys that are doers, okay, the construction thing, making thing, all the doing stuff is taught to these action-driven people. Knowledge-driven students are taught a philosophy, literature. Likewise, these emotion-driven or care-driven people are taught drama, people care, dance and music, so on and so forth. So therefore, we have Shastra Vidya. Vidya is education. Shastra is weapon education. Then we had Veda Vidya, Vedic Vidya, which is literature or philosophy education. Then we had Ayurveda, which is life science, which is medicine. So we taught these to different kids because their inclination. There are a good number of people like who are a visual learner. There are some number of people who are good with audio learning. There are some number of people like who are experiential learning, tactile experiential learning. So today's education, like which is industrial education or mass education, which is standardized syllabus, is not catering all these three categories. They're not considering their bent of mind. So maybe AI and this upcoming D schools will start customizing their syllabuses to these three different groups. Like visual learners, they have a very different syllabus. They approach that way of acquiring knowledge. Likewise, audio guys, likewise, experiential guys, their projects would be different. Their submissions will be different. Their evaluation would be different. No, we don't need to evaluate. If you ask me, there should not be one person ranked, okay? Because that's very unfair. Because how do you rank somebody as good? Okay, so anyway, you are getting the point that how personalization is going to help. The third thing is innovative teaching approaches. Of course, theoretical knowledge and real-world application, these are two things. One is academic, another is real-world thing. There is a bit of a gap which needs to be filled or bridged. I think that bridging is kind of happening due to our internet revolutions. Nothing is hidden. You can see how projects are done. You can read case studies. You can do internship in these organizations. That is happening. So in a way, the teaching approaches, I think nowadays the good colleges are doing interesting thing. They are inviting industry experts. Like I myself go and teach in several colleges. Like I'm just looking for a bunch of developer who can help me to create my own avatar. In the sense, last 20 years I worked in the industry. I assimilated a lot of knowledge. I want to kind of store that knowledge and create my avatar. Whether you talk to that, whether you talk to me, you might be getting almost similar answers. So these kind of experts, avatars, especially industry experts, avatars, also going to available in the future students. They can make use of them. Okay. Let's get into this very interesting, the fourth discussion, which is streamlining assessment. Can we use AI to assess the students' projects? Yes, of course, I believe. Because, see, as a creative director, I run projects and I have two tasks which AI is doing. One task I do as a creative director is prompting my team member. I prompt them to come up with new solutions. I'm doing a human prompting and I evaluate their creation, their exploration, their creation. These two can be automized. A lot of these quality controlling departments, they use softwares to run the tests and see the whatever gaps or mistakes. Like we do that. Spell check. Okay, spell check is also, it's a very mini micro version of AI, which is checking your spelling. Grammarly is another example, which is checking your grammar. Not only grammar, it does the plagiarism checking as well. What you need to do is a theme or a concept plagiarism checking AI. Again, we need to invent and how we do it. That needs to be thought. So that way, in evaluation, AI can help. Another way, like each of individual course leaders can create their own evaluation AI. How you can do is that you can create an evaluation checklist. Okay, we do that in our organization. So basically, there are 6 students who are working on a project, and all of them are exploring ideas. So when they explore ideas, we display on the wall. And I, myself, and our business head and project director will be there, and we go through all the exploration. Then we have a checklist, which is derived from our client brief. We kind of rank these exploration. We see, hey, this particular thing is kind of scoring very high according to our checklist. This is falling short. That looks good. But it needs certain improvement. So like that, we advise the team, and the team will concentrate and try to deliver on the brief, because the brief become sacrosanct for creation, to communication, to persuasion. Like client also will say, this was your brief, therefore we did this. So course leaders can create their own brief, and they can have a checklist. And you have to evaluate all the assignments were submitted by your students according to that checklist. So like that, you can use, there also you can use AI. One interesting thing I think our evolution we have to bring in our education is that our assessment mascot, like whatever, however assess, we can have a three columns. Like one column talks about like students assess themselves, okay. Another column is teachers assess or course leader assess. The third column where AI assessment score, okay. So student might have assessed himself or herself on typography 80 out of 100. As a course leader of typography, he might have given the students 60 out of 100. AI might have assessed this person's typography assignment 35 out of 100. You display all three marks on that mascot. That would be interesting to see how machines are evaluating, how your instructor is evaluating, how you yourself evaluating. This one more thing, like how AI should become part of it. When I was studying University of Arts London, they had a one good practice, but it's not a automated practice, it's a human practice. You have to write reflective writing every week, okay. So that is very, very good exercise. You write a reflective writing on what you learned on that week, and you write separately reflective writing, 500 words reflective writing on the project or the activities what you have done. So there's a lot of this reflective writing and submission used to take place in my learning time. So that really helped me to comprehend things. So how do we use AI for this particular purpose? So instead of asking students to write a reflective writing, if they write, that's fantastic. But we can use AI survey every week. You have 50 questions, okay? AI ask these 50 questions to the student, and student will, whether he will type it or whether he will answer verbally, he answer those 50 questions, and that will assessed by AI week on week. And at the end of that particular semester, your AI will give kind of understanding about the students, like how well he assimilated certain teaching what you guys taught in the course, and how well this person assimilated certain concepts, and how well he got the thinking transformation, okay. So like that, your AI can help you to create a pod or a bot which can do this survey, okay. So this survey is going to help definitely, okay. One of the reason I kind of think biases happens like if there is a unipolar sort of a thing, if there is a one entity which has got all of it. But if you have a multipolar knowledge centers, then you get many right answers, because I think we should start going as an education institutions, except in certain subjects, maybe physics or maths or something, you need a one right answer. But every other field, there could be many right answers. Okay, so that is what we start embracing. That's how biases will start going away. Yes, I see that you use heavy AI in imparting technical knowledge, and you kind of use a limited automation in thinking development area. So the thinking, which still essentially the human territory, that needs to be, like, for example, in your college you can have more conversational thinking classes, okay. that way, like, you can make it much more human-centric as well. Conversational learning and teaching methodology would be the right methodology. I think we should start making use of it. Lastly, we're going to look into the future perspective. What are the future perspective? Design education, what AI is going to bring to the future of education. So that's where, like, we're trying to kind of understand, trying to think. So one thought, like, which came to my mind because I practically experienced this. Currently, if you go to any D school, there are graphic design,